Boston Herald Radio. Tyler Sullivan, Christian Burgoyne here with you. And we're following the breaking news coming out. It's just coming in here on Twitter right now. Dion Lewis, Patriots running back, who left the game yesterday with an apparent knee injury. It is confirmed it is a torn ACL and just an overall brutal loss for the New England Patriots. Even though, and I've been seeing this, and this is mostly from Patriots fans, saying that, he's gone, but, who was he before he came here? Bill Belichick will find somebody, and Bill we trust, yada, yada, yada. Look, he was one of the best players on this team on the offensive side of the ball. He did so much for that now still injured offensive line. I don't necessarily buy the fact that people are saying, oh, no, we'll just find the next guy. No. I still think that Dion Lewis was very good. The things that he was able to do, I believe he led the league, and this was a certain stat that I read, that he led the league, and I don't know how they compile it, but making guys miss the most or making them miss. He led the league in that stat going through this far this season. So it's a tough loss for the New England Patriots, obviously. Now you wonder, okay, where are they going to replace a guy like that? How is that going to happen? Is it going to be a guy like Brandon Bolden? Is it going to be a guy like James White? Or do they go out and make a free agent signing? Do they bring in a guy like Tavares Cadet, who was here in the preseason, who was supposed to kind of take that role and be the Dion Lewis type player? Obviously, no one was expecting to have that kind of an impact for this New England offense, but Dion Lewis did. And now where do you replace that? Does that go now more towards Julian Edelman? Does that go more towards Danny Amendola? Does Brandon LaFell get more looks? Does Rob Gronkowski get more looks? Or is it still coming out of the backfield? We know LeGarrette Blount had a great game yesterday, career high in carries, but can he be your feature back? I don't know, especially in that situation. I don't know if he can catch the ball the way that Dion Lewis does. He certainly doesn't move the way Dion Lewis does. Dion Lewis obviously out for the year with a torn ACL. It's just coming through Twitter now. It's being confirmed this throughout here. It's a tough loss. And you won. And when you looked at the game yesterday, and what we talked about all this week last week was, how does this Patriots team win the Super Bowl? What is holding this team back from winning the Super Bowl? Now, I don't think that Dion Lewis is, we're going to cancel the duck boat parade or anytime soon or anything like that. And I don't think it necessarily means that you're out of it by any stretch of the imagination. And anytime you have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady there, you have a shot at it. And I'm not saying that Dion Lewis was a good piece, great piece. And I don't think it make or breaks the Super Bowl chances, but at the same time, it doesn't help it at all. It doesn't help it at all, especially given the way the offensive line is right now, the way it's in disarray with even now Vollmer being out with a head injury, not knowing what's going on there. The impact that he had relieving the pressure from the offensive line. Yes, it is Tom Brady, but at the same time, Dion Lewis did a great job to get outside the pocket, and then all of a sudden he relieves that pass rush and relieves the pressure off the offensive line because Tom Brady has the ability to just dink it out and dunk it out over to him. So it made it a lot easier for that offensive line. And you just wonder, okay, with that, given the offensive line issues, which in my opinion is still the number one issue for me. Losing Dion Lewis sucks, obviously. It's a tough blow for this team. But the offensive line is still something that scares me the most. That is one that I don't believe that one actually could make or break your Super Bowl. Just because, if we look at it coming up this weekend, you have the New York Giants. You're playing the New York Giants. Jason Pierre-Paul back. He was pretty much involved the entire game yesterday going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You wonder, okay, now teams can game plan and say, okay, we're going to attack that inexperienced offensive line. We are going to blitz. We're going to go after the quarterback. And we might actually find some holes now because he doesn't have Dion Lewis to chuck it out to when the pressure gets a little too tight. And that offensive line is inexperienced. We don't know what they're going to give you every week. So it's an interesting turn of events there, and I'm still nervous about the offensive line more so than the running game, but still a tough blow for the New England Patriots and for that backfield. You wonder where it's going to come from. I did mention Tavares Cadet. I believe that Dree Archer is also being mentioned. Just for people, from people suggesting what the Patriots should do. But he has just been an absolute force for you. He was, even running the ball too. I felt like he always had a little bit more. He hit the holes a little bit harder than LeGarrette Blount. They're completely different running backs. Obviously, that one is huge and bulky and just is the bruiser of the two. The other one is more of the the finesse. I don't know if finesse is the right word, if that's being disrespectful to the player, but at the same time, he has just been absolutely nails for this Patriots offense, and considering what they do. I mean, he's had 36 catches on the year, 388 yards total, 2 touchdowns, and then on the running game, he's also had a couple touchdowns, ran for 234 yards. I think total yards from scrimmage, it was Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, and then it was Dion Lewis on this team. So you are losing a legitimate offense.